Alright, what is going on? Welcome back to another video. My name is Kyle Anderson, and today I'm going to be doing another video teaching you guys how to do something. It's sort of a continuation off of last week's video on how to skate the spine transfer. However, this video sort of comes first in the skill set of how to skate the spine transfer, so you should sort of start here first if you're not 100% sure on how to skate transition. So the reason I'm making this video is because my buddy Eli, he's also a YouTuber and he's just starting out trying to get his progression vlogged and everything, but he was having some trouble learning how to fly out of a ramp, or he put it on his channel on how to air out. So I figured I would give my tips on how to do that. I really like the way that my last video on how I gave my personal tips on how to skate the spine transfer came out. So I figured I might as well continue this on. And if these type of videos do well, I might make some more in the future. So let me know what you guys think about this. So getting into the fly out, the very first thing you're gonna need to know how to do is know how to pump on a ramp. If you're not sure how to pump on a ramp, I would highly suggest learning that. If you can see where the transition starts on the ramp, that's where you pump up and pump down. It's kind of like when you're on a swing and you pull the stuff. You pull the chains to you and away from you. That's sort of how you would think about how to pump on a ramp. So you pump up as you're going forward, and then you pump down as you're coming backwards. And that's how you generate the speed going back and forth on a half pipe. I mean, if you want, you can learn how to drop in as well. There's no harm in doing that because you're gonna instantly have your speed, but for sure you wanna know how to pump. Another trick that will be super helpful for you to learn how to do flyouts is learning how to ollie. And the reason I'm saying this is because it's kind of the same basic motions once you get to the top of the ramp, except you're not really snapping the tail down. You're using the coping to give your snap. So just think about how an ollie works, where when you press down on the tail and you slide your front foot forward and then that levels you out. But instead on a fly out, you're lifting up your front wheels, your back wheels are bonking off the coping, such like that, kind of like the snap of your tail. And then you level it out the same way, and then you land wherever you're trying to land. So go to a quarter pipe that you're very comfortable skating. I'm super comfortable on these 5-foot ramps, but if you need to get a smaller ramp, like a 3-foot or a 2-foot, I would start there. For sure be able to pump all the way up to the coping. You don't need to be able to do any lip tricks really. As long as you can get your front wheels right up to the coping, that's gonna be your main goal. If you can pump back and forth comfortably, the next step I'm gonna tell you to do is, in your mind, just think about the ramp being an extra 2 or 3 feet taller. And the reason I'm saying this is because you wanna imagine, as you're pumping up to start your fly out, you wanna just think about it like a pump on your way up. If you can go with the amount of speed you would need if your ramp was an extra 2 to 3 feet taller, so your back wheels clear the coping, that's gonna be huge, because if you can pump that high, that's all you really need to get the snap, to get the fly out. So as you're approaching the coping, you wanna lift your front wheels up. You're riding up the ramp, you wanna lift your front wheels so they don't touch the coping, they go past it. And as you're going, your back wheels are gonna touch, you're gonna get light on your feet. As you're pumping up on a ramp, that's how you generate your speed. As you pump up, you get light, and then as you come back down, you press down. So you're doing a pump up all the way to the coping, and then your wheels go over, you're pumping up still, your back wheels will bonk because you're staying light on your feet. So you're just gonna go up, miss those front wheels, bonk, and then get in the air. And then once your back wheel's clear, you're going to start simultaneously sucking both of your knees up and leveling out like it's an ollie. An important thing to do is go a little bit faster than you think you need to. That way you can bail if needed. And when I say that, I mean you wanna bail while you're in the air. Don't try and bail before you hit the coping, because you're gonna probably either fall backwards or you're gonna fall on the coping. But if you're in the air, you can still kick out, so you can move your body in a way to land on your feet, or land in a way you're not gonna get hurt as bad. It's skateboarding, you're gonna get hurt some sort of way. So the body positioning when you're going up to do a fly out, you don't wanna be leaning back, because if you're leaning back as you go up a ramp, you're just gonna fall back into the transition, and if you're not wearing any safety gear, you're gonna get seriously hurt doing that. So you wanna stay pretty level on your board, and as you're reaching the top of the transition, even maybe lean a little bit forward. That way you can guide yourself which direction you wanna go, because if you're gonna try and come back into the ramp, you wanna stay kind of centered with the coping. But if you're going on top, you wanna pump up the ramp and then forward, which if you think about it like an ollie, you're throwing your weight forward as you ollie because of the speed. So you wanna try and adjust your weight forward as you're going on the quarter pipe. So the great thing about learning flyouts is you can do them just doing like an ollie sort of flyout, where you don't have to grab the board, you just go up, bonk the wheels, level it out, and land on top of the deck, and you're done. That's what I would suggest kind of learning at first. But once you get comfortable with that, as you start bonking your back wheels, you're sucking your knees up higher and higher, and then as you're doing that, you suck the board up to your hand and you can get some grabs. And the reason I say sucking your knees up into your hand, because if you reach down to try and grab the board, you're gonna fall because your head is moving down, so then your body's gonna follow you down. So as you pump up, you pull your knees up and your hand's already there ready for the grab, whichever grab you're trying to do. Pump your knees up, grab the board, tweak it whichever way you want, spot your landing and roll away. It's honestly the same thing as doing just the normal fly out. You're just adding the grab to get some stability. And it really helps to do that, you know, for just having fun, doing style, or if you're going really high up and you need to have some control on your board if you don't have the proper leveling out and the tweaking to keep the board stuck to your feet. If you're gonna do flyouts and land into a different ramp, say you're landing into a bank ramp or another quarter pipe, the main thing you're gonna wanna do is just kind of go at an angle on the quarter pipe you're flying out of. That'll kind of start guiding you towards the ramp you're gonna land in. And then if you're trying to go higher, you would go more straight onto the quarter pipe. And then like I said, if you're gonna just do onto the deck, you can just go very straight on because then you're just gonna land on top. Or if you're trying to 180 or anything, you can turn your shoulders that direction. It's the same way you would turn your shoulders for a 180 on flat ground. I do think this trick can be very helpful for anybody who is learning how to skate transition. And like I said, you're gonna wanna get pumping down very well overall because that's gonna make transition skating just that much easier and that much more fun. If you found any of these tips helpful, please let me know in the comments below and share with some friends. If you have any suggestions on any other tricks that you would like me to try and give my tips on, I'm not quite sure what to call this series, so if you have any name suggestions for that as well, please let me know. I wouldn't wanna rip off someone like Dowdy and call it my perspective or anything like that, but it does sound kind of cool. I do enjoy making these. I like to give some sort of educational aspect to these because, I don't know, I just like helping the next generation of skating. And even though I'm not super great at it myself, I feel like just sharing the basics can go a long way for somebody. And like I mentioned, my buddy Eli here on YouTube suggested this to me. So please, if you don't mind, check out his channel. He's trying to hit 100 subs. He's at like 68 right now. So it'd be awesome if even a few of you guys can go show him some love. But with all that being said, this is the end of the video, so thank you so much for watching. If you found any enjoyment throughout this, please hit the thumbs up button and consider subscribing. And as always, get out there and push your comfort.